Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or Hobbit's Reading List, and this week we're getting through some required reading this week. I'm focusing on the books that I have to do, either because of like book club or podcast or what have you. So that's gonna be our focus, and we're also gonna focus on like self-care because last week was really rough for me. And we're gonna make this week better. We're going to. Speaking of making this week better, I didn't have a ton of time yesterday. Yesterday was my day off. I had some just like meetings, like I had personal training, and then I had like 2 or 3 hours later I had therapy, and then 3 hours after that I had a writing date with a friend. And so I didn't have like a ton of time, but I did, do some laundry, chill out, but I mostly read. I read 10 chapters of The Safekeep. And The Safekeep is about this woman named Isabel. She lives in the family home. She lives there by herself, but technically her older brother owns it, and it's there for him to use when he decides to like get married and settle down and have a family. But in the meantime, Isabel lives there. Well, Louis, her brother, has to travel for work. It's set in like 1961, so he has his girlfriend come and stay with Isabel because Eva, the girlfriend, doesn't really have anyone else. And Isabel is not happy about this. Isabel's kind of prickly. Like, she doesn't really like other people. She doesn't really... It's not necessarily like either. Like, other people just kind of make her uncomfortable. And she likes her life when nothing else impacts it, where she has the control, which is why she likes living alone. And so now suddenly having Eva there, and Eva's very like bright and intuitive, and Eva just kind of comes in and messes Isabel up a little bit. But they do end up, they butt heads a lot at the beginning, and then they do sort of end up getting to know one another better. And then getting to know one another better. I don't know how it's going to end. It's not considered a romance. It is actually considered literary, which makes me think it's not going to have a happy ending, which is going to be a bummer. But like I said, I read 10 chapters yesterday, so I'm about 61% through, and I'm enjoying it. Isabel takes a while for you to like her as a character. Because while she's standoffish with the other characters, she also feels standoffish with the audience. Like, even though we're in her thoughts and we understand like her thought process and everything, it's just like it feels like we're kept at arm's length, and then all of a sudden we're not. So I'm really enjoying it, and that's about it. I will see how I like it at the end, because I think I have an idea what's gonna happen. So we'll see. But that's all I read, and I wanted to film this before I forgot, and now I'm going to jump into editing. I don't know what happened this week. I don't know why I haven't filmed since Tuesday. Besides, like, it just wasn't coming up on my spinning wheel. That's the only thing I can think of. But, okay. So, I finished reading The Safekeep, and I liked it. It did not end the way that I was expecting it to, but I did like it. I feel like I want to reread it. Like, maybe not like soon or anything, but like there are some things that are revealed and that, you know, makes you look at the first like 60% of the book like, huh. So I want to reread it at some point. But I did enjoy it. I don't remember what I rated it because I finished it like 4 days ago. I know. I gave it 4.5 stars, which matches the Storygraph ratings that I can see. So no, I thought it was really good. And yeah, I understand why it was given so many awards. The relationship between Isabel and Eva, like, grows on you for sure. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that. Maybe that's why I haven't really filmed. I also started reading The Code of the Woosters by P.G. Wodehouse, which is a Jeeves and Wooster story where Bertie Wooster has he gets sucked into this several plots that sort of kind of revolve around this like creamer, like cream pot thing that you put like cream for coffee in the shape of a cow. Like that's like very central for some reason to like several different things. But Bertie, that was a weird meow. That was a weird one. Bertie goes to this country house to help his friend Gussie, whose like engagement is like on the rocks, and he's also been enlisted by his aunt to steal this like cow creamer thing. And there's another part of it. Oh, he's also enlisted by another friend of his to steal the cow creamer but give it to someone else. So there's like this is a very busy country house, and Bertie's just trying to get by. But I am enjoying it. I really like Jeeves and Wooster, and so it feels nice to be just enjoying a P.G. Wodehouse book again. And I want to say I'm like 60% through. I have less than 100 pages left. All right, well, I haven't added how many pages I read. But I want to say I have around 100 pages left, so that's something. And other than that, the only other thing that I have read is I've continued listening to The Count of Monte Cristo, and I am at like 81%, so I have less than 10 hours left of the audiobook. Will I finish it next week? Maybe. I kind of doubt it, just based off of like I'm only going to the office 2 days next week. And so that's only about like 5-ish hours of listening, and yeah. So as much as I would like to, I don't know if I will finish it next week, but it will be finished this month, which is great because it's definitely impacting my quantity of reading. But yeah, so that's about it. I think I've been like having more like crash outs this week, and maybe that's another reason why I didn't film. But my mood so far, at 10 a.m. so far today is pretty good, and we're just gonna keep that going because it's also Valentine's Day, and Chris and I have a date tonight, and I don't want to be sad. And now I have 2 cats in here. Hello. So I have to make sure they don't fight. But yeah, so that's about it. And I'm going to go about my day, probably read some more this afternoon, and I will remember to film tomorrow. I have decided, by the way, because I kind of know the rest of the books I'm reading for this month because of like a thing. And so I've decided how I'm going to split the next like 3 vlogs up. Well, this vlog and the next 2 vlogs up. And so this vlog will not necessarily end on Monday. It will end when I have read 3 books this week. And I already know what books they are. And I'm sort of getting, I'm not theming my vlogs. I do like having weekly vlogs, but because of a video that is coming, that I'm starting at the end of the month, it just sort of has to shake out this way. So there's that. So even if I, for some reason, don't film tomorrow, which is probably just like maybe I overslept before I had to leave for work, this vlog will not end on Monday. I will finish 3 books this vlog. So there's that. And now that hopefully I've made some people intrigued to figure out what I'm doing, I'm gonna go. I finished reading Code of the Woosters, which I think I may have mentioned this last time I filmed, but it was so nice to read a Wodehouse book that was actually funny and like that I actually enjoyed. It was so refreshing because I feel like the last like 4 or 5 Wodehouse books that I've read have just not been great. So it was nice to go back to something I'm familiar with, you know, pick up Jeeves and Wooster and just get to go along for the ride with my pal Birdie. There were some parts where I'm like, okay, this is getting a little predictable. Like, there were a couple things that I predicted, like, right before they happened. And I don't know if that's because of the story or just because I have read so much Wodehouse at this point that I'm starting to see, like, what he typically does. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. It just meant it was like, oh, it would have been nice to be surprised. But I did like it, so I gave it 4 stars. And that was really nice. And then the only other thing that I have read is last night I started reading Tough Guy by Reid, which is the 3rd book in the Game Changer series. And it is the last book that I will be reading for this vlog. Tough Guy follows Ryan Price, who is he's an enforcer. He's not a defenseman, but he's an enforcer for his team. So pretty much he is there to beat up the other team members who try to go after like the star of the team. So in this book, the star of the team is Dallas Kent, and Ryan has been traded like every season, so he doesn't really have friends. He doesn't really want to be known as this like guy who beats up other people, but that's his job. He also has like severe anxiety. It seems like he has some erectile dysfunction as well. But the book is following Ryan and then also this guy named Fabian, who is a musician. And Fabian and Ryan actually already know each other. They knew each other when they were teenagers, and Fabian's family hosted hockey players for this like juniors team or something. And so they actually, as teens, had crushes on each other, but it never led to anything. And so now they have met again, like a decade later. And I really like this because I like the whole like like friends to strangers to lovers idea. But also I like it because Fabian is so confident in who he is, and Ryan is not at all. And so I can see Fabian having like a really positive impact on Ryan. And so I'm really enjoying it. It's very cute. I read it like 70 pages last night. So, or 77 or something like that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. So that's about it. That's really all I've read. So I'm going to get ready for work, and hopefully I will read more today. And yeah, that's about it. So I will check in later. You guys, Tough Guy was so cute. It was so cute, I couldn't take it. Oh, okay. I finished reading it. Honestly, like, of the first 3 books of Game Changers, I would probably say that, like, Tough Guy is my number 2. Hero Rivalry is obviously the top, and then Game Changer is at the bottom. Look, I may have said this in the vlog where I read Game Changer, but, like, I loved Kip in the show, and I could definitely understand him. In the book, he's kind of insufferable. But this is about Tough Guy. I believe I've already talked about what it's about. Yes, I did. Tough Guy was so... It was just so nice. Like, what I really like is, from what I can tell, each of the Game Changers books follows, like, a different trope. And so, I said it before of, like, Tough Guy is kind of like this friends to strangers to friends to lovers story, which I thought was really well done. I love that they, Ryan and Fabian were, like, each other's types. I thought that was so, it was just so cute. Oh, I just loved it. And I really loved the spicy scenes because they were very different from, like, the spicy scenes that were in Heated Rivalry and Game Changer. Just because both Ryan and Fabian have not even, like, issues or anything. I don't like that word, but, like, it takes some navigating when they're being spicy together. And so I really appreciated it. I thought that was really well done. And then I just liked it all. Honestly, like, I can't go into, like, much detail without spoilers, and I really don't want to do that because this is not a, like, spoilery vlog. But yeah, I just thought it was so cute. I know a lot of people, and I was talking to one of my coworkers yesterday who had read the series as well. I know a lot of people, like, put Tough Guy kind of at the bottom of, like, if they're ranking it. And I've even seen some people online say that, like, you don't need to read Tough Guy at all. And, like, I was talking with my coworker, and she's like, yeah, it's kind of, like, at the bottom of my list. She's like, just because it doesn't touch, like, the overall plot, pretty much. Like, there is kind of an overarching plot of the series, and, like, Tough Guy doesn't really fit into that as much as the other books do. Which, like, I can see, but honestly, sometimes you need, like, a little bit of a palate cleanser. I get it. I think that it does participate in the rest of the plot, but it's whatever. I thought it was so good. Yeah, I give it 5 stars. I gave it 5. Just because, yeah, it was so good. I loved it. I kind of want to reread it. I won't because I have so many other things to read. But, yeah. So that was it. And then that's the end of the vlog. So I'm really happy to sort of, like, wrap up the vlog on, like, a high note. Although, honestly, this week has been pretty good, like, reading-wise, because I read The Safekeep, and I read Code of the Woosters, and then I read Tough Guy. Like, it's a pretty good reading week, and we've just gone up. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you liked, you know, I know this is very different from last week's vlog where I was, like, horribly disappointed in my reading. So, like, hopefully this was much more enjoyable. It was for me. But leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.